Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Alex from TCG Discussions, and I'm coming at you today with a I'm back video. I've had pneumonia this last week, and so no tournaments for me. Um, I've been really trying to get my health right, and I'm it'll be my medical treatment will be done in a couple days. So hopefully, I can return back to form, get back to participating in tournaments again. But I wanted to give you guys some content, so here it is. Today, I kind of wanted to talk about colors, and we're going to start with blue and talk about whether or not the price points of investing in these colors are worth it. Um, Let me just start off by saying that no color is unplayable, but the worst color in the game undoubtedly is blue. And that's just because we have silver bullets for it. Black is probably like the strongest color, if not red, right now. I know a lot of King Vegeta decks, despite their expensive price points, um, red might become the new most expensive color in the game, but uh, you just have a lot of I'd say like for blue though, just a lot of cards that needlessly are expensive despite its price points. And I kind of want to talk a little bit today about that and why that's the case. So just some examples. I just looked them up, despite the fact that there are player's choice versions of the card that are $30. Heroic Prospect Trunks is still one of the most expensive TP cards you can get. And to me, um, blue has several cards that are like this. They're either niche to a specific deck, like Baby Promos, Baby Unison, SCR, Baby SCR. You've got Heroic Prospects, which is a staple for every blue deck that is expensive. And I realize it's a TP, but still, like, it's not even that good of a card, really. And then you have just lots of other cards, UI Kamehameha, so on and so forth. Golden Avenger at one time was expensive. It's dropped, thankfully. And blue just constantly, like a boonie used to be $40 a piece, and it was really good for blue. Sorry, got out of camera there for a second. I had to itch my back. And yeah, just needlessly expensive, despite the fact that it is clearly the worst color in the game. And to me, it's pretty obvious that it is. I mean, yellow, Mecha, way better. Almost any yellow deck with all the good yellow support that they have now can just trump blue almost any time. Red, probably second best color in the game. Black is insane right now with Mecha Kabura, Dark Brawly. And it's only going to get better because a lot of the good generic black support that we just got is just super strong. And then green with King Cold, like King Cold is the revitalization that green needed to like come to the top and stand among them. Like King Cold is a legitimately good deck. It's by no means like the best deck, but it is instantly a top 10 contender in my opinion. It's somewhere in there. So yeah, why blue though? Why is blue so expensive? So in a lot of ways, I think that blue's expensive because of nostalgia. A lot of people like blue. It's resource management and the fact that you have your untap resources for your mana. Um, if you can get some good draw cards in there, it's just going to be even better for you. Soul Striker is one of the most abusive leaders in the game's history, both like in the old days with that nostalgia and currently, simply by the fact that it's just really, really good at untapping mana and drawing a lot of cards. Like you can easily like draw 3-4 cards on your awaken turn if your cards don't net you advantage already, and so on and so forth. It just allows you to make plays and then keep resources for defense. Make plays, keep resources for defense. Soul Striker Leader can awaken early by playing one of the best unisons in the game, the Baby Unison. And they just got their new boss card in Gohan, which is a card that they needed. And it's kind of OP, but also at the end of the day, it is what it is. But, you know, So you have this nostalgia feel, and that's one of the reasons why blue is expensive, because a lot of people covet those pieces. Like take Sensibine for example. It was one of, until like evolution boosters, there were still Sensibine prints that were like $5, and if Sensibine was super trending, it'd be like $10. And then Evo boosters came out and tanked the price, and they're gonna have to do that with some other cards to reduce like the cost of them for access to players. I know the collection coming out is going to reprint the Green Zamasu that is severely needed. But also, when we look at blue, my problem is that there are lots of cards that are expensive that just don't do enough or anything. Like take the Baby Unison, for example. I'm going to give an equivocation comparison to red, right? You have Piccolo Jr., Descendant of the King. It's an SR and has an SPR. The SPR is like $11. The SR version is like $5, $6, $7. Is relatively inexpensive compared to Baby Unison, which is $20, $25 as an SR. Now, I realize there's not an SPR version of it, so there's more people sweeping that specifically off the market. The Baby Unison's minus ability does do a lot, and it does put more markers on than the Piccolo Jr. Unison. But the Piccolo Jr. Unison does literally everything. When your opponent activates counter, one of their battle cards loses 15,000 power. That is an auto that is not once per turn. It draws you a card for its plus ability. It has a -2 that is a board wipe potentially, and then can give you Rejuvenate. Like, what more do you want out of a Unison, right? Unless it's like archetype specific. Baby Unison is not archetype specific, although it does really help the baby leader. And, you know, when you look at that, the price point definition is not there. Every red deck should be playing Piccolo Jr., Descendant of the King, unless you're playing like Red Brawly. And then you look at the same thing for blue. Well, every blue deck should probably play the Baby Unison, unless there's another reason to play like Xeno Cosmic Unison, for example. Let's take another overly expensive card. This has got to be the most over expensive card in the game, Heroic Prospect Trunks. That card is terrible by like every single metric possible. It is worse than Topo in every considerable way that you can imagine. Number one, while Topo may cost more energy, in order for it to cost less energy when you would play Topo, you have to have a Unison on board. Okay? That's problem one. The second problem is that there is just a point, and against certain decks it reaches this point insanely early, where that card is useless. If your opponent has enough energy, and the card attacking you is at its energy cost, then it doesn't matter. Like, it actually doesn't matter. And this is all before the fact that it's battle cards. Right? Whereas Topo is every single attack for the turn. How much is Topo? It's like $2, $3, $5 for a common version. Maybe $10, $15 for an anniversary. Every version of Heroic Prospect Trunks is $30 plus. And it is in every single way possible worse. I mean, take Meki Kabura, for example, which has its own Topo in the Poutine. Again, one of those Topo-esque effects. I mean, even King Cold has a Topo-esque effect in their the King Cold battle card. But at the end of the day, none of those cards are approaching $30. And if they are, they're like foiled anniversary editions. Again, terrible. Why? Why is this price point there? Right? Doesn't need to be there. Take UI Kamehameha, for example. Good card. Worse than Vegeta's Final Flash. Definitely worse than Frieza's Death Ball. Definitely worse than Cell's Kamehameha. Although Cell's Kamehameha like goes up and down. And definitely worse than Majin Buu's Human Extinction Attack. Because every deck that can play that card well, it's busted. Like Vegeta's broken. Gogeta Xeno could be broken. Gohanks, if you want to play that, it's not a very good deck, but again, broken. There's just not a... It's just bad. It's just bad that UI Kamehameha is like $20, $25, $30, and all these cards are like under 20, except for Vegeta's Final Flash. But Vegeta's Final Flash is warranted because it is the best one of those cards by far. It's played in a top tier deck that literally destroys opponents when that card is played. Like, being able to negate an effect and rest a card, ridiculous. So again, this idea that it's just this, I don't know, the idea that UI's Kamehameha needs to be what it is, when it's not even ran in like decks like Baby, for example. It's not even ran, and I haven't even seen that card effectively used outside of like SS4. Like, most blue decks are not gunning to play it. And again, what's its price point? I don't know. It's useless. I mean, I'm surprised Phrase's Death Ball is not like a $30 card right now, given how actually good it is in King Vegeta, given how good it is in almost any red deck that can play it if it has the space to play it. And so, to me, blue is just one of the most incredibly overhyped colors. And I don't think that a lot of the cards that it's staple, like, that are applied to its staple pool are worth the price points at all. I take the Ape Unison, right? The blue Ape Unison. It's a $5 card. And then it trends upward from there. $12, $15, $20, $30. Why? It should be like down there with one of the, and for all the people who are like, yeah, but it's a TP promo. It's a TP promo. How many useless non-played TP promos are like $1 or worse? Like, every reprint pack of that card should be like $1. Every print of that card, like even the foiled, like now non-errated version, might be worth $10. It should be worth $10. But it's not. It's worth $20, $30. Now, again, it's one of those things where sometimes buyouts happen. Blue is one of those coveted colors. I guess this is another reason. People get money and then all of a sudden, I'm going to go buy blue stuff. I'm going to play blue. And then they get to a tournament and they're like, why did I spend $1,000 on this deck that just dies to True Fighting Spirits? This sucks, right? Or why did I spend $1,000 on this deck for literally a Piccolo Unison to blow up my Heroic Prospect and every other card I have on board as soon as I activate a negate? Yay. And so, I don't know. I think that blue is just one of those colors that every card in it needs to be reduced by at least half its price. The only card that I can see being worth its price point is the Baby Hatch, because it literally ends a turn. You can play what you're going to play, but you're not going to kill me this turn. So I think that that's one of the cards that is deserving of its price point. But even then, it can only be played in blue, and there's still good options to play. I mean, like Heroine's Lineage, Kai, if you have it, the new Sen SCR, things I could easily see being played in blue. And so I just think that blue is, again, one of those incredibly overpriced colors. And I will discuss in the future more videos about whether or not the other colors are worth the price point. Yellow, for example, I think is going to be one that I tackle next because I'm very familiar with yellow. You see a lot of Mecha Frieza. You saw my Sin Shenron deck profile. So yeah. But anyway, that's it for this video. Look forward to some new content coming this week. I'm going to make a lot more videos to kind of catch up with the content that I've been missing, and I will see you guys next time. This is Alex from TCG Discussions, signing off. Laters.